Good morning, everybody. It is March 27th. Right at the end of March already. Whew. I don't even know where March went. Like, gone. Anyway, last week of March, last week of the quarter. God, first quarter 2023 already winding down. I don't expect a huge amount of movement. We'll probably see some window dressing this week. Not really major movement. Now, that all said, it still could possibly move quite a bit. But we're kind of stuck in some channels on like ES, and we're stuck in this consolidation on NQ, consolidating below the box, and I don't know. Where's the motivation to move before the new quarter? Like, seems that we're getting a lot of window dressing heading into this end of the quarter. That's for funds and stuff. That's why we've seen a lot of big tech being added. Got to get it on your books. Got to show some positive after 2 years of sideways in the market. I mean, if you're a fund manager, we've seen huge tech fund flows, and we're starting to see some energy flows. So money may flow off of tech into energy. We may see energy start to rally. I'm keeping my thumb on that one, trying to watch it, see if that's what we're going to get. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. And all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may be completely full of crap on things I see. Just keep that in mind. This presentation here, informational, educational, and fun, is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument or anything else. If you desire that personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor, because they'll have your best interest in mind. And there's actually a law that says if you have a certified financial advisor, they have to take into consideration your financial well-being in their decisions. Although, there's crooks all over the place. So, they can lie about not being registered, and they can lie about all sorts of things. But believe it or not, just a few years ago, there was no law. Like, a financial advisor didn't have to take into consideration your financial situation when they gave you advice. Isn't that just crazy? Anyway, it blew my mind when I found that out. That was a recent law, like the last few years, not something that's been out there as long as certified financial advisors have been registered. Stupid stuff. The world just never ceases to amaze me. So, anyway, looking at this, we have earnings this week. Quite a few earnings for the last week of the quarter. Usually we get some kind of reprieve, some week in here where we kind of get a lull, but not this quarter. Right around, I think, the week of Christmas to New Year's, we had like 1 or 2 earnings that came out, but this quarter, every week, been pretty stacked. So we have Carnival coming in here before the open today. Yeah, looks like not really big name companies here this morning. Not really much tonight either on the big names. We do come over here and start seeing some stuff on, Core and Main. That's like utility pipes, like water lines, sewer lines, stuff like that. McCormick spices, hey, I like a spicy meal. Lululemon, that one's actually interesting. Sitting out here on Tuesday after the close, away from a lot of the other fitness and big tech type companies. And Micron, that one's interesting. Jeffries, Centos, Paychex, Cons, Home Plus. Some interesting stuff this week. I don't know why they've held out so long. So keep it in mind, if these are some of the things that you're invested in. Maybe you should check the chart and make sure that it doesn't look like we're getting overextended to the upside, because these can pull back, as we've seen a lot lately. Now, I want to talk about the ES in the channel. There's the big channel right there. Nice big black chart. Make it crystal clear. Last week, we tried to bust out on the FOMC. Then we got a giant choppy pullback that kind of freaked everybody out a little bit, and we came right down. This was the first move down on the FOMC. Got a little retrace, and then we got a little continuation there, right down to the 100%. That first move down and that third move down, finding parity right in that zone right there. And then we rallied into the close on Friday, kind of getting a little bit of chop here this morning, sitting right in the middle of the channel. If you look at the channel, kind of visually kind of put a center line in here, we're right in the smack dab middle of this thing. Now we do have the weekly pivot, this light blue line right here. Zoom it up, this light blue around 39.93-ish. We'll probably go down and hit that at some point this week. I mean, look, we tend to hit this weekly pivot. That was 2 weeks ago. This is last week's. We hit it early in the week, then we revisited near the end of the week. We're kind of passing by it early this week. We may come back and visit it later in the week. Just keep that in mind. Although it kind of pokes out the bottom of the channel here, so if we get on over here, a revisit's going to bust the bottom of the channel. Just keep it in mind, all right? We have that big purple line right there is the monthly pivot, and we are sitting just below it. We found resistance there, lots of candles. These are 30-minute candles. Yeah, 30-minute candles. So we had lots of 30-minute hold right there at that line. We spiked up on the FOMC, then dropped, then we came back, retested it again, couldn't hold it, and came down here. So we're right back up there again. Watch for resistance, okay? If we can break right on through, we'll probably come up here and test this upper channel line. And the top of it is roughly 40.94.75 right when I took the snapshot before, I guess it was before the top of the hour. So it probably moved over slightly. It's a 30-minute new candle. So just keep it in mind. NQ, like I said, is consolidating. This is like the watermelon seed squeeze. I don't have it drawn on here, but if you drew a line connecting the lows, these are like higher lows. You drew a line connecting the lower highs, kind of squeezing in there. That's an unpredictable pattern, all right? We can break higher, we can break lower. Somebody will tell you it's a pennant. Somebody will tell you it's a bear flag. Somebody will tell you it's a bull flag. Somebody will tell you it's I call it a watermelon seed squeeze, because when you squeeze that watermelon seed, it pops, and I haven't met anybody that can accurately pop that thing the exact same place with target accuracy. I mean, I'm sure there's a competition out there that they can, but, hey, the market tends to be very messy. So there's nobody with super accuracy squeezing this market. It's just everybody out here trading the same sort of thing. And is she going to pop up or is she going to pop down? That's the big question. I don't have an answer yet. We'll find out in the coming days, because this thing is quickly running out of room. If you we can draw it on the actual chart I can draw on. This is just a snapshot. And then S&P 500 still, this is the 3-day chart, still above the downtrend line. This is still slanted bullish. We are still hanging out below the roadmap line though. That's resistance. We found big resistance there on that attempt to go higher. Nope. Right back down. Couldn't go lower. We didn't break below it. We didn't even test the trend line again. We have this inside candle so far. We're inside the range of that day before, or the 3 days before. So we're just hanging out here. If we can get above a good close above this roadmap line, it's probably game on to 4,300 at least. If we break back down again and get lower than this stuff right here, we may go lower low. This low right here we could be a lower low than this one. You see, we found lots of support, lots of tails. I call them tails. Other people call them other things. There's these long sticks hanging down, for lack of a better term. I call them tails hanging down. That showed a lot of support right there. We weren't able to push down into that zone. Again, we had a tail right there, and you draw a kind of line across there, and there's a support zone right in there. If we get pushed below that at all, we could see it lower than we saw it back here. This is October. I just want to throw that caution out there. So we're in a very precarious place. I've been trying to tell everybody in Discord, warn everybody, this is a difficult place to get moved up out of. All right, if we can get buyers to come in, despite all the bad news, we maybe can start working on something positive here. And just looking at a different way, the red box that I've had sitting on this chart for quite a while, We're just sitting almost smack dab in the middle of it. We'll probably get a little rally up here this morning, so we'll probably be up, opening right up in here, just above, right at maybe 4,000 or so. We'll find out in 5 minutes. So that's what we got. All right. Any questions on the parameters of the big picture, like what we're kind of looking at here? Kind of looked at the big picture. We've looked at the little minor, hanging out in the trend channel thing. That little channel is just kind of, hanging out right here. We spike down and we've got that little channel. It seems to be expanding a little bit. I'd love to see a pop right up here, and then we'll probably get a run right up in that target zone. Now, what happens there? Well, we had a long-term resistance there. Everybody knows that point is on the chart right at 4,300. We turned down there in August. Everybody knows, all the traders, they're aware of it. We all know where we turned down in August. So that is a psychological level in the market that we either need to bust on through, or more likely we'll find some resistance and retrace back down here to the top of this box one more time before we can bust on up through. All right, so even if we do get going up there, don't get too overly aggressively bullish until we're above 4,300 solidly. All right, we get above 4,300 solidly, we're probably going new high and probably get some extensions on that high. All right, just want to make sure, that's my big picture ball game plan right there. All right, so sucks we have to wait, but wait is what we have to do until this thing can prove that it's actually going to go up. All right, S5FI was poking just above. Let's go back to the other chart. S5FI right there closed on Friday just above the 20% reversal zone. This is percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average. That's what this is. 20 is usually a reversal point, and 80 is usually a resistance point, also a reversal point. So we usually reverse higher off of 20. We usually reverse lower off of 80. And hanging out in the middle and playing in this big range is a normal market. We haven't had a normal market since back here. And that was a normal going down market. So, all right. ES, zoom it up, take a look on the one I can actually draw on. We've got this little channel cooking here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days now. We're just hanging out, kind of trending higher. If we can get above this blue zone where we rejected right here, we rejected right here. We get above that, that was the FOMC spike right there. We get out of there, get above that stuff. We're in probably relatively clear air, barring the banking system burning down in the U.S., to get up to 4,300. In Q, consolidating right below. We did reject right there, found a lot of support, and then put it right back in here. So this is looking like we may run to the top of this red zone, which was the August high, about 13, right up in here, 13,700, 13,800, right in that zone. I put it up there because of this big candle right back here in March. This big zone, right, that big, where it was volatile and we chopped. So that's why it's a little higher than that August high. We can see a run right back up to the top of that. I think we'll find resistance up there and pull back again before we can break on out. But if we do just break on out, that's super, super bullish. So there's the parameters. Russell, maybe showing a reversal off the bottom here. It is gapping up today on the IWM. We got to break out over this consolidation. Right now, we've just got a consolidation box. I mean, look at that. Box up the candle bodies. We're just boxed in here right now. Haven't gone anywhere for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days. 11 days sideways, while the SES was trending up for 11 days. And NQ has been on a monster run for 11 days. All right. Know your parameters. Know which stocks which one of your stocks. What if you're watching a stock? Where does it fall? Does it fall in big tech? Does it fall in the ES, or does it fall in Russell? Kind of sets the expectation based on the index. All right. Dollar just chopping, tried to break back higher. We got that resistance right there, poked up. Couldn't do it on Friday, getting a little retrace today. If we break out of the bottom of this, probably going down to the 90s. Stuff moving. Look at this one right here. Closed Friday at 579, popping up to 868 this morning. First Citizens Bank shares. I mean, not sure what the news is there. I didn't even look at it, but that one's popping. Big pop. So right back up where it was. Right? It was up here, dropped down, and then right back up there, pre-market. BLKB, nice pop. And market's open. Game on. So this one looks like it's going to try to break above the resistance there and get some continuation. That looks very positive on BLKB. Resistance going to be up here about 68 or so. So if you're chasing after that one, you can get about $3, possibly up to 72. If it can really get going, we do have this other high right there that is probably holding us in a little bit. So if we get clear, move up through there, that one can get going. And it doesn't even have any gaps or anything, just has highs way up here. So NVS, nice pop there too. This is Novartis. It's probably got some kind of drug news of some sort. Drug trial. GS, working on a reversal out of here. If we get back above about 327, this one can run back up in this zone where it consolidated, and then possibly even make an extension up to 402, 418. Like, the banking thing is not all clear. I don't want to say that right now. It's certainly not all clear. There's still lots of risk out there, but that doesn't mean that these things can't run back up where they were consolidating before all the freak out. So TMV, 20-year Treasury, bear, just hanging out. I mean, it's a little pop off the lows, but still in the consolidation. Nothing really to see there. Gush, let's see, that's a S&P oil and gas 2X bull, and a little pop, but hanging out at the lows. Not overly bullish, all right? Even though these are big movers of the day, not overly bullish. Ultra short natural gas, getting a little pop. That means natural gas is down. And looks like it's going to go lower low, more than likely. Not what we wanted to see on natural gas. Well, maybe it is if you pay natural gas bill. This one can return back into this $1.75 to $1.50 area down here on an extension lower. So if you pay a natural gas bill, maybe, unless you live in California where apparently the prices are ridiculous for natural gas right now. FRC, continuing to consolidate at the lows. Little pop off the bottom gives it a nice % gain, but that's still looking pretty rough. That one could go bust. That could be the next bank to go bust. Be careful on that one. I would not try to catch the knife there. Tesla, showing a little positive action here. A pop above the roadmap line can get us on a path to go test that downtrend line. If you're not familiar with the downtrend line, go watch some prior videos. I've talked about it ad nauseum. Lulu, as we saw, has earnings this week, stuck below the roadmap line. Is it going to pop up or is it going to pop down this week? That's a good question. Looks like it's set to get a pop up, but it's hanging out. These are lower. This is like the trend lower here. Very, very cautious. Now, if we got to close up here above 330 this week, right before earnings, that might indicate a pop. Otherwise, we could come back and retest the lows one more time on Lulu. PXD, looking for a reversal here. Let's see. Yeah, right at we got down to the 1272 extension lower, and we can reverse, but we're going to need a move up through this 210 area. It's certainly above the minimum. Got to get above 204, 205. But that high right there where it kind of reversed a little bit, found resistance and then dropped out. I really want to see something above that aggressively, more conservatively above the roadmap line and above this high right here, about 243. That would really make it look better for an extension out 286 and 300. All right, PNC, looking like we're still working on extensions lower. That's still looking pretty bad there. ENPH, looks like we're going to push on down. Target down here around 149. Just chopping. ZURA, I don't even know what's going on there. That's probably going to retrace unless it's got some kind of crazy buyout or whatever. Yeah, biotechs move and they don't make sense. FAS showing a potential little pop, but that's still enough consolidation and it's been drifting lower. You see how it keeps making lower lows here? Be cautious. These pop days tend to be followed by some bad news in the banks. So that's my caution there on the bullet, on the leveraged 3x leveraged stuff. Be careful. We are hanging out right at the lows that we've had so far in this whole cycle. All right. Be careful. Can it go lower? It sure as crap can. How much lower? Let's run this little fib line here. Could come down to 38. Like if it starts breaking lower low, yeah, we got one little push down, one little finger. If that starts really running down, we could see it come down in this 38 area. All right. SGEN keeps doing these gaps. That's crazy. I'm not even sure what. More pharmaceutical biotech stuff. So, WAL, Western Alliance, another bank. Nice spike down and positive, but this one is another one at risk of blowing up. So be careful if you're trying to chase that one. You know, we've left some gaps up here. We could all of a sudden get a run, but it just doesn't look very likely right now. Capital One Financial also hanging out at the lows. Little pop off the lows, but all hanging out at the lows. JP Morgan, and again, this one looking quite a bit stronger. It made its low back here and is consolidating right above a measured bounce. Now this one breaking back up through, say, 133 could set it off for a bigger run up into this zone right up here. This is a rather bullish pattern for JP Morgan. Hey, it's kind of like the biggest bank, right? They stand to profit the most out of this fear. So, all right. FCB likely buying all the stuff. Yeah, that's dangerous, though. I heard all the crypto stuff is not for sale, though. So we'll see what happens on the liquidation aspect of that. So IWM might fill the gap back down. It's about $2 gap up. Remember, that's the one day trade I do, and it looks like it's pushing down. So if you're in IWM, that might go fill the gap before we can find support and go. BNTX, another biotech, getting a drop. Lilly, open lower, but coming back strong. If this one can break out above 336, it can go on a bigger path, bigger run. I was thinking it may reach down here, but we can find support right there at the roadmap line and break higher. Really would be looking for a move above 354 to see these 392, 415 upside targets on Lilly. Cat getting a little push down. Looks like we may push down to 207. We've been pushing through the extension lower there. 207 is going to be the next support line, support zone. Back above the roadmap line would be positive, but Cat's not doing that right at the moment. Baidu still hanging out below the resistance. Be careful trying to chase that one until we can get above that resistance. And then GLD get a little pullback into the open despite the weakness in the dollar. This one can pull all the way back down to the roadmap line. We hit the 185 target. That was it for now. Like, it's showing weakness. It can run all the way back down to the roadmap line, back down to 171. All right. If you got into that trade that I mentioned, 4 weeks ago almost, book your profit. I mean, protect your profit. Be smart about it. Don't let it come back all the way back to the entry. All right. Be careful. I'm already out. I got out right here. I missed the Thursday, Friday pop. or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday pop, whatever. I got out back here on this weakness because it looked like to me we are going to roll over. The odds were rolling over. So, all right. That's what we got for today. Looks like bias for the day. Still more sideways. A little bit positive drift with that trend, that up channel. We got some up positive drift. We've come off the bottom. Pull that chart back up. And right here, we've got the resistance up here around 4,100. That could lead us back to the bottom of the channel one more time. We're kind of doing this where we kind of drift up to the top of the channel, and then we get some violent retrace. We had kind of a violent pop up to the top of the channel and drift right along it, and then violent retrace. Drift kind of up and violent retrace. So watch out for a drift up to the channel and a violent retrace. All right, and that'll span more than just today. As we look at the days down here, bar keeps popping up on the bottom. We've got the 27th today, 28th right there. 29th doesn't have a vertical, and 30th. So we could see this thing run kind of up into the next couple of days and then reverse violently. All right. Be careful. Know your parameters. And let's continue the conversation in Discord. If you want to come join us, links in the description. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell for notifications because I go live tomorrow at 9:15 and then again tomorrow at 5 o'clock where I take your requests for at least half an hour. So, all right, everybody, have a great day out there. Stay safe. Be careful. The money you save, maybe your own. The account you save, maybe your own. And I'll see you later. Have a great one.